All right, we have returned successfully. We did it once again. We are here with players that you've seen before. If you've watched any of this, you've seen all these people. They're wonderful. If you haven't watched any of this before, this is a weird one to start on. I'm Patrick. These are Gauntlet people. We're playing Monsterhearts 2. Once again, we return. Rock and ruin at this point. Session something or other. 830, I'm not sure. We've been doing this for a while. This Pantheon is so old. They're like the oldest olds ever that olded. Everything's getting sad and whatever, but then it's not sad. It's sort of up and down. We're here late tonight. There's been some last minute switch outs with gods and Christmas fuckery. Don't go outside. It's awful. There's people everywhere. It's just the worst. Run, people, run. Okay, that was my holiday cheer for the season. So this is session 2 of this month. We had our last session where we sort of advanced the timeline. We moved forward 6 months and changed up some things. But before we get into that, I'm going to look at my notes and follow them because they have big letters that say safety tools, which I should remember to talk about. I'm awful at talking about these things. I know, it's miraculous. It's like twice in 1 month. What's going on? I might be having an aneurysm. Guys, call an ambulance. I don't think it's going well. Okay, anyways, while the ambulance is coming, we have the X card on the table. You can say it. You can do like this thing, which I'll probably see. You can wave your hands wildly like Kermit. That'll probably catch my attention too. You can type it in the chat. I may or may not see that. Don't use the roll for your party X card because I'm not on that page because limited bandwidth and tabs and whatnot. Secret pro hint, that also means you could just lie about all your rolls and I'll never know. But don't tell Patrick that. Anyways, we also have the script change tools on the table, which consist of pause, rewind, and fast forward. You can call out the pause in similar ways, and that's a great one to throw out there if you're just unsure of where things are going and you want a moment to think about it or talk it out. We've seen a fairly dramatic example of script change just recently that covered like half a session, and it was super cool. And I was thrilled about it, and I would totally be into using it again. Okay, I did that thing. Haha! You can't get me, notebook. So many notes. Oh my God, you guys, I'm going crazy. There's so many things that are probably never going to happen. Oh, no, I've killed the light balance on my camera. Oh, well, I'll just sit here in darkness. Anyways. So last time we had moved forward, we saw some key things. We saw Ra going around trying to recruit people and also threatening, saying that there are going to be 12 gods and they're going to be her gods, and she can go incarnate new ones and kill all of y'all, or some of y'all can come and join her, one way or the other. It's cool. She was playing with Nyx's moon eye. In the meantime, just to be extra threatening and creepy. That led to, in some weird twist of events, a hookup between Khonshu and not Pluto, still Liam, now Apep. Lost his god, he's come back as a new god. Yes, you get the normal number of moves, plus take 2 advancements after that because you've been around for a while. Things are at the end. It's crazy pants. If you want one of those advancements to be the season end stuff, that's cool. If not, anyways, what was I saying? Khonshu and Apep, they totally hooked up on a moonlit rooftop in Paris. It was amazing. Let's see, back in London, it was Oz who was having a lovely sort of flirtatious, like beginning of a rom-com sort of relationship with Maya, one half of Janus, who is complaining about, you know, the problems of godhood and enjoying someone paying attention to her without Ray and weird techno lights going all over everywhere. But that didn't last long, as the 2 of them found Apollo, Dia, who is out in the National Gallery Museum burning paintings and proclaiming that they were distractions from people, that the people needed to learn to focus on higher reason and thinking and invention and science and whatever, and all this fripperous art was just a waste of time and was burning it all away. Maya was upset by this, but she was sort of heartened by the fact that her man Oz went forward to talk Apollo down, and also sort of like touch Apollo a lot and do some eye fucking with Apollo and make some promises to spend a lot of time with Apollo. And Maya was sort of upset by all of that, if I have to be totally honest. Ray wasn't overly thrilled either. But there are other reasons for that. We'll see how that goes. Do, do, do. Yep. Okay. That seems to be most of my notes from before. Does anybody want to add in any important things that happened last time aside from epilogues?
I'd like to add in that Ra is a great big scaredy cat, and that all you have to do is tell them what a hypocrite they are, and they will panic and run away.
Yes, that will definitely work every time. Keep trying it. Do no other tactics. Anybody else? Okay. Ryan, you look like you might have said something. No, just okay. It's cool.
No, what? Do I need to say something?
What?
I can say something.
No.
No, help!
Now you unmuted and you have to say something. Ah, this is getting awkward. Okay. Anyways, we're doing a weird format fuckery experiment because my brain is twisted and I got bored. I want to take it out on you by giving you homework. So we're taking the epilogues for our characters, or at least the 3 returning ones, mad with power, and stretching them out over the course of these 4 sessions and sort of doing an emergent prophecy, if you will, of how things will end, plus sort of like flags of where they want to aim towards. Last time it was just very simple starter. We saw the black page with the Pantheon wheel. We got their text that was in the middle. And then the next page was a full splash page of an eye or 2 eyes. It was all of their eyes. We got some details about that. That was sort of it. To recap what those were for Khonshu, the caption inside the Pantheon wheel was, "You're only 19, for God's sake." And the shot was a close up of Khonshu's eclipse eyes, that like light shining around the big black cores. It was very like alien and cold, and these are the god's eyes, but we could see from the wrinkles and crow's feet at the side that it was obvious Khonshu was smiling. So we'll see what that means. There was Opep with the phrase came back haunted in the middle of the Pantheon wheel. There's something else scratched out. There's an editing process. This is much cooler, and this is where we ended. And the shot we got was one of Opheb's mirror shades. Oh, so cool. Oh, so mirrored. Concealing his eyes, but a hand up ready to pull them down. And reflected in the mirror shades was a smeared, sort of golden-eyed face of Ra standing in front of him. We also saw the Ophep snake tattoo, which is impressively going up his arm and ending in a mouth like right there. So we go like, I got my snake talking because I'm super cool and I'm a god and whatnot. We could see it on his hand somehow. It would be really awkward. It's something like this. I'm gonna rip him off. Who knows how he did it? Godhood, amazingness. Anyways, the snake was there, open mouth, ready to strike or say something cool. Whatever, hand puppets. And then for Osiris, I'm ruining all drama I may have created at any point. Osiris, caption, he who isn't busy dying is busy getting born, because Osiris. Oh, dear sweet puppy. And the close-up was one eyeball straight in, dead and milky, white on white, no real sheen, no expression, and sort of tears of blood that were streaming down to show that Osiris was laying on his back. So does that mean he's dead? Does that mean he's just being Osiris? Who knows? Anything I missed in any of those? Cool. Assignments for tonight. We're going to stick on that close-up of the eye. and there's going to be some sort of speech over that panel. Is it an inner monologue that we have in a little like inner monologue box? Is it someone else talking to you? Is it a bit of dialogue between you and someone else? Think about that and give us a line to a short paragraph, something like that. And also, this is a magic comic book that also plays music somehow. Who knows? It comes with the soundtrack. So when we get to your epilogue, what is the song that is the backing track? What is the soundtrack for your epilogue? So, got those two questions, a little bit of speech going over your eye. What's our song? Cool. So, we have Sarah joining us last minute. Once again, she does return. She's real good at returning. And with her, she's bringing Magdalena, who was cured of the darkness that Huitzilopochtli brought with it, but now has found her way back into the mix of pantheons, deatheons, suntheon, animatheon, all sorts of craziness, vendettas, Twitter wars. It's insane. But Sarah, save me from all this talking. Talk to us for a couple minutes about your new character-ish.
Not quite done yet, but keeps striking out my text. So Magdalena, I'm bringing her back as a Fomorian, and I think losing Huitzilopochtli, I think it changed her. Because she lived for a decently long time, like she didn't really even exist for a while. And I think that kind of erasure would have an effect on her. So I'm reading the character description of the Fomorian, and it says they are in some way different, an outsider in some way, unable to blend in with society. And I think it's just this aura of just grief almost too, because she did a lot of terrible things. But the moves that I'm choosing are very much lashing out even more. I'm taking the Eye of Balor. You can levy curses on people. Cinder Child, which is interesting, and I hope I get to use. You are immune to harm from fire or smoke.
Hear that, everybody? Set fires. So many fires. All right, it's arson night here at the Pantheon.
Bruises are badges, which I took from the Tengu skin. You may spend a string on someone to lower the harm they deal you by 1. And I took jumping out of clocks from the Cuckoo skin, bringing it all back. Yeah, and like the skin is weirdly reminiscent in a lot of ways of Tengu. The Darkest Self is all about lashing out at people. Hate is what you know best. Unleash all of Dante's hells upon people. Crush the weak before you and force the strong to bow. Stay in your darkest self until you drive someone to seriously doubt themselves, or a person you hate admits they fear you. Thinking about people.
The internet ate Sarah.
Yep.
I can still.
You're glitching in and out for us. You might want to try dropping and rejoining. Awkward pause to see if she's going to just jump back in. Okay. So let's see. I will take this moment to move things around. Over there. Cool. Okay. I got her moved over. Is that a new Sarah? Hey! Sort of.
It's an interesting still that she landed on.
She looks very unsure about the world. I'm very unsure about the world. Why does technology hate me and only me? All of my problems are the worst problems, you guys. Okay. So, let's see, some things that have happened in between. As y'all saw, there's a new Pantheon symbol. It has the Baron Criminal symbol on there. Although I don't know if y'all have met your new sibling yet. Sarah?
Yes.
Hey!
Can you see me?
Can see you, can hear you.
Good. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. You were saying about your character.
Yes.
So, you are going with a new god. That was going to be my next question.
Yes. Another Aztec god, or Mayan, I think. Tezcatlipoca, perhaps?
Tezcatlipoca? I'm not sure.
Is that the smoky mirror god?
Yes.
Okay, he is fun and fucked up.
The smoking
All right,
mirror,
so-
god of the nocturnal sky, ancestral memory, hurricanes, obsidian, enmity, war and strife. Probably gonna lose jaguars. Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Wow, yeah, a lot of things going on there. It's got sort of a weather chaos war sort of feel. I like that. So what was it that drew you to Tezcatlipoca in lieu of a better pronunciation?
It was another Aztec god or Mesoamerican god, which fits really well with who was living in her previously.
Yep. Okay, so we've had 6 months since the events of the end of last month and where Huitzilopochtli got pulled out of Magdalena. How long do you think Magdalena was wandering around without a god?
Probably a couple months. And she hated every minute of it.
Um,
And I think when this god awoke in her, she fought harder against it. And it was much more like she held on to something of herself.
That's so interesting
because she knew what had happened before.
Yeah, you talk about her being really traumatized by being overwhelmed by being subsumed by a godhood. Oh no.
I'm still here.
Okay. Cool. Odd. Weirdness. Anyways, so she was really traumatized by that experience, but when it was taken from her, like, she was still longing to have it back. It's just, I can do it better this time.
I think, yeah, because she doesn't remember. Well, no, she does. She remembers every second of it. It's just that she couldn't do anything about it.
Wow.
But at the same time, like, there was this incredible sense of power and like worth in a weird way. Like, people paid attention.
So Magdalena was previously Suntheon. Are we Suntheon, Detheon, Other Theon? What is she now?
Are we calling ourselves? Are we calling ourselves the Detheon now?
Seems to have caught. I liked it at
Okay,
least, so
well,
that means it's popular.
I'm going to pare this down to night, hurricanes, earth, rulership, divination, and war, which are all firmly in the Detheon.
Cool. So Liam, after Liam, after losing his godliness, was just sort of wandering down the street one night. Bam, new god. Is that how it happened with Magdalena, or did Magdalena like do something to seek out a new god, or what do you see having happened?
I think she probably went home to Mexico.
Okay.
And hung out there for a while. And like, these places are connected to the gods. Like, this is where they sacrifice people. And she probably went to visit one of the temples for Huitzilopochtli, and like stood there, and that's when it happened.
Wow.
Like, in front of that stone altar where they cut out people's hearts. But it was not the same.
Interesting. And also wildly intense. Okay. I've got sort of an idea. I guess sort of last question, like, have you been, because it sounds like you've had Tezcatlipoca for at least a couple months.
Oh, yeah, you said 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she came back to London until fairly recently, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Have you been at all public with being a god?
Yes, like immediately after.
Nice.
So probably Mexico City, maybe like San Jose or something.
Okay, so you did a little American tour before coming back to London.
Just California.
Nice. Are you publicly identifying with Nyx and the Detheon?
I think she's not quite sure, because with how she left things, or how Huitzilopochtli left things, she is not at all sure of her welcome, but she also has amends to make. So I think she has reached out. I don't know if anyone has responded, but she has done that. Probably not publicly, like private DMs.
Gotcha. Not like calling people out on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Cool. I think that gives us a solid place of where she's at. you've got a history with everyone sort of in your head for Magdalena and what's been going on. Go ahead and take 4 strings on people, split up how you will, and give out 3. So who do you think you want to give strings to? Internet. Stay good, Internet. Yeah, bother.
And what was the first one?
Hey, are you back?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, you might want to try turning off your camera for a while, see if that helps your bandwidth.
You said, can you go over the strings again real quick? I've already forgotten.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, give out 3 strings to other people, and then take 4 strings on other people. And who do you think you want to give strings to?
I think 1 to Oz and 2 to Pluto. And then, or sorry, not Pluto.
Opep.
Opep. And Opep can take 2 strings on me. And I did. Yeah, I did. So, 1 string for names. Khonshu, and 1 for Oz as well.
Wait, so you were taking strings on those people? You gave away 3, which was 1 to Oz and 2 to Opep. So they have strings on you now.
Okay, sorry.
And then those other 4 were you taking strings on other people.
Okay, in that case, you can each, or I will take a string on each of you. And then who would like to give up a second? I don't know.
You can have more strings on me if you want. I'm cool with it.
It was also Khonshu's idea to talk Huitzilopochtli out of Magdalena. So if you wanted 2 on her, then that would be totally appropriate too.
Okay, yeah.
Is this where we
that
fight
makes sense.
for you to have leverage over us?
Take more strings on me!
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. You're set up, and you're sounding much better without the camera. I hate that we can't see you, but for the moment, that seems to be dealing with your internet issues. But we're gonna skip around to other people. So yeah, let that firm up for a little bit. Think about how you want to make an intro scene, and we'll come back around to you. Cool, cool. So, what I was saying, stuff that has happened in between. There is a new Pantheon symbol. You may notice it had Baron Criminal at the bottom. Did you notice any other changes? There is another change. Lakshmi is super deadzo. Let's say a couple days ago, Lakshmi was found at a crossroads, a major intersection in London, tied to a giant roulette wheel, headless. So that happened. No real clues about who did it, why, how, whatever. So feel free to dig into that. Also, Vesta and Eris's graves have been, what's the best word? Exploded. Just all over their respective graveyards. Let's see. In the wreckage and the mess afterwards, you could see that Vesta's head had been removed from her corpse. Eris's had not. Questions, comments, concerns?
Incredibly sad about that.
I
Good.
guess just do we sort of retcon it that Eris is actually dead?
No. The
Play
sort
down
of
that,
like
it makes sense.
yeah, the sort of like headcanon thus far has been that Father Richards found some other skinless corpse to put in Eris's coffin because he wanted to have a funeral and do all that fucked up shit. Eris himself, Patrick, made it away, and so have that say what it will. They exploded the coffins, and Catherine, who was really in there, got her head took, and Rando corpse without skin did not.
Okay.
That has happened finally. Okay, so I think we are going to start this scene with this session with Khonshu and Apep again. Fucking Apep stealing all the spotlight. But this is a, after the afterglow sort of scene. Is this that rooftop? Is this sometime later? Apep.
I punt to Khonshu because it was her bad idea.
It was a great idea, and okay. Then let's, if this is such a bad idea, then let's sit in it for a minute and see how much we hate it.
So this is on the rooftop.
Yeah, I think so.
Fair.
It was, if you'll remember, given our things from last time, confusing for Khonshu, but comforting for Apep. Apep now also intensely territorial, we'll go with, about Khonshu. But yes, the moon has obviously moved. There's the remains of a fancy dinner on the table over there. There's the Eiffel Tower in the background. And there's the first line delivered by Apep. That's you, Ryan.
I know, but you keep putting the ball back in my court no matter how hard I throw it at other people. I think the first line is just, well, shit.
Oh, it was so sweet last time.
It really was. Why you gotta make it weird, Apep?
You started it. You gotta sit in it.
I do. Making you say things is how we play Riot Ball, so now I have to say things. That's fair. Okay, so Apep just drops a cuss out of nowhere in what I thought was kind of like a sweetly tender moment, and I think that Khonshu just gives a look and starts to put herself back together to get ready to I don't know. It seems like maybe Apep needs to go home tonight. So it will be another trip back to London, and hopefully not being intercepted by Ra this time.
To which I think when he sees her start together, I'm just fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean. God damn it! I shouldn't even be here. And probably kind of grabs his stuff and is gonna just snake out and plunge into the street beneath, but leave no hole as he kind of undergrounds his way away.
Are you snaking?
I am snaking.
Oh man, you're triggering that move already.
Oh yeah, I am. I forgot I have
Nice.
that. But yeah, do you accept or reject me as a giant murder snake?
Well, does the murder factor into it yet?
No.
Well, then it seems cool then.
Okay, giant snake.
But giant snakes do seem cool, but let's tie it in with Apep also just like fucked off without explaining.
Yeah, he totally just ran away.
So Ryan, why don't you read the big reveal move?
Do I need to roll to run away, or do I just fuck off because I want to?
Oh, I love seeing you roll to run away. Yes. Read the big reveal, then roll to run away.
The big reveal. When you reveal your true form to someone, they gain a string on you. If they accept you as you truly are, they mark experience. If they reject you, take one forward against them.
So, Khonshu, you get a string on fucking Apep. And given everything, do you accept or reject him right now?
I think I accept him because he came to me. I asked him to show me that I was his first choice, and he did. And I think it's ride or die.
Okay, so this isn't ideal, but your man's complicated.
I knew that.
Okay, so that's experience.
Yep,
nice.
And I already felt so called out by that baby song on the playlist. Also, I rolled a 4 to run away, so that doesn't go super great.
Amaze. Good. Cool. If you see me being frustrated with the world, that's because everything is freezing up on my computer. Y'all are still there and you can still hear me though, right? Okay, cool.
I could until Hangouts crashed, but now I can hear you again.
Cool. Ryan, say more words, see if your volume is super high or just adjusting.
Oh, let me fix it.
Okay. Wow, this is getting real doppelgangery real quick. Yeah, you snake out.
Is my volume crazy? Am I
Jesus, it's
human?
even louder.
Oh, fuck.
Voice of Apep. Okay. While Ryan is figuring that out, go ahead, mark experience. We'll get it back to what happened there. Oz. Well, swing back to Khonshu real quick. So that just happened. He did successfully snake into a hole in the ground, and you're left on a rooftop. What do you do?
So with the he's got the failure that he'll get to deal with, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The hard move is coming in other forms.
Oh, lovely. Well, I was gonna take him back to London. I guess that's not what he wants to do, but I think I will head back because he knows how to find me, and he will. I trust that'll happen.
All right. So you're getting your complicated outfit put back together, and we'll see you dazzle off in a ray of moonlight.
Perfect.
Oz.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
So that was obviously a direct continue from last time, but we're moving forward in time. There was the whole thing with Lakshmi that happened in between. So where do you see a starting scene for Oz?
Oh. It's obviously I just spent a bunch of time getting interviewed.
Yep.
And that was probably pretty brutal and cathartic, and also probably felt pretty good for Oz to finally get all that shit out. But Dave would like to see a scene with him and with Oz and Magdalena because they have never interacted.
Cool. Well, let's
Hmm.
in the interim, while you were there spending your days being interviewed by Apollo, Dia, um, how would you respond when she comes on to you?
Dia?
Yep.
Oh. Oh shit. Um so here's the thing. I think Oz is currently questioning whether or not he's asexual right now. So he's probably like going to be like yeah, he's probably going to be like um he's probably going to feel like intensely uncomfortable to her advancements. But it's Oz. He's not very good at like saying no to people still.
That makes sense. And the sort of ace tech for if it was players that were trying to turn you on in some way, they'd be rolling shutdown with hot. So do you think
Yeah.
there's something on the shutdown list that makes sense as a response?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I've been thinking about it over the last week and like how his relationship with Janice has been going. I don't think he knows if he's ace or not. There's been times that he's been attracted to people in the past, but right now, like, it's not something in the forefront of his mind. So I'm not like going to mark him for the ace rules right now, just because I think it would be more interesting to have him like questioning that aspect of himself.
Okay. Well, given Oz's personality, I could see him reacting, yeah, with the like embarrassed and act awkward. I could also see Oz just like anytime she's coming on to you, he just like promises more and more things to try and distract her, sort of thing.
Yes, that is totally what he's doing. He is trying to change the subject and giving Apollo tempting things that she can't that he's pretty sure she won't say no to.
What's our most memorable thing that you tried to promise her to distract her with?
Oh. Oh fuck. This is totally terrible. Do you want to see where I grew up?
God.
He offered to show her the compound.
That is the world's biggest bag of mixed signals. I'm into it. Okay, so that has all been awkwardly going on in the background. But yeah, you're wanting to interact with Magdalena. Are you going to find her because you heard that she showed up here in London and she was just in America, or do you think it's a chance encounter? Does she run across you?
We had said that I reached out to people. Does he get a text in the middle of that interview or a message?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like if you reached out to Oz.
I mean, I reached out to everyone.
Yeah. Oz would not deny you. Like if you asked to like meet up, to chat or something.
Cool. So Magdalena, where would you ask him to meet?
It's a pity London doesn't have a radio tower with a restaurant in it. Someplace super public.
Okay. Restauranty? You like that feel?
Sure. I'm just trying to decide whether she'd go fancy or like hole in the wall. I think she's been spending a lot of time in Mexico. I think hole in the wall. Let's get actual Mexican food.
Okay. I was going to suggest like old school pub, but Mexican food sounds even better.
Cool. So yeah, Oz, you're responding to her invitation. So let's see your entrance scene. What are you wearing and how do you show up?
What time of year is it right now?
It's been 6 months. I feel like all the last bullshit stuff would have been like fall into winter. So let's say spring. April, Mayish.
Okay.
Why,
Yeah,
internet? Why?
Obviously because it's Oz, he has to be wearing jeans. Let's say he's wearing like jeans and yeah, I think like a t-shirt. It's like one of those like really expensive t-shirts with like the really complicated scroll work pattern in like black and gold and everything, except the gold has started flaking off and it's barely visible anymore. Because it's Oz, and Oz kills colors even though he doesn't want to.
Nice. Walk in through the front door or God out of something unexpected?
I think he gods up through the ground in front of the restaurant and then walks in. What?
Oz
It's
to the core.
transportation.
No, it's good. It's Oz to the core. So Magdalena, Tezcatlipoca, how do you look here?
She's wearing this sort of like greatcoat deal that looks like it's been carved from obsidian, but it somehow manages to move like fabric.
I love her.
And then she's going big. And then under that is just like the most colorful, flamboyant, like flamenco dancer sort of dress. But like so much of it is hidden by the greatcoat, like it's kind of hard to see. And then like boots to like up all the way.
So good. What's the expression on your face when Oz comes walking in the front door?
I think I wait for him to come first, just to make sure that he's actually coming, because she's not sure.
Oh, I see.
So she's watching. There's like a series of mirrors in the back, and we see her face in one of them, but she's not actually there.
I'm in love with this character. I want to be this character. Okay, sorry. So Oz, you sit down and wait.
Yeah, I'll order some like a bunch of tacos and a couple of beers.
All right. So Magdalena, make your entrance, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So when I think just as the food is starting to arrive, you see it's probably like a fairly large mirror in the back, and you catch sight of her face for just an instant, and then like the entire her is stepping out of it. But she looks sort of unsure, but like unsure of her welcome. And
yeah.
Without saying anything, she sits across from you and takes one of the tacos.
Oh yeah, Oz is like totally waving her over.
Okay.
Hey, didn't know what you preferred, so I just kind of got a bunch.
Well, I suppose it's not. I've been spending a lot of time home, you see, and I wanted something of that. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
Anything
totally.
is fine, really.
Let me a sec. I get nostalgic all the fucking time.
I'm sorry. This is okay, right? I hope it is. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure of anything.
Let me are you planning on cutting off my head?
No.
Then it's okay.
Is Is everyone else still around?
Yeah, they're. I mean, some of them haven't really been talking to me that much. I don't know. Liam and Kanchu have kind of been doing their thing. The whole, oh hey, we have to get ready for war thing.
Yes, I remember some of that. I can help if you'll have me.
Oh, I mean, I'm totally fine.
I would like to help.
I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask, honestly. If you want to, go in for a fight. I mean, honestly, I've been spending quite a lot of time with Apollo and Janice. Well, actually, I haven't seen Janice in a while. They're probably pissed.
And I think like she takes a few bites and then like puts everything down. I wanted to say again that I'm sorry for everything. I mean it.
I think I take your hand here and I'm like, look, I get it. And you were in a fucked up situation. We're all in fucked up situations. I mean, you were told that here's a bunch of people who are evil and, are getting rid of progress. And, a voice in your head told you to start skinning people. Voice in Liam's head is telling him to go fuck up all the sun deities. It's all fucked.
So Magdalena, I think as like you're forcing yourself to talk about the things that you did, and Oz is nonchalantly holding a taco and talking about you flaying people, I think this might be a keep your cool kind of situation.
Yeah. And I think she sort of tries to talk about what it was like for her. Like it's not at all like what you're saying it was. And just kind of stops. And I think you just kind of maybe talk over her a little bit.
So how are you afraid this might go wrong here? How are you afraid you might ruin it, or he might ruin it? What are you afraid of here?
I'm afraid that I will lose my voice here in the same way that I lost it with Wichigi Lepochli. Like from the outside instead of the inside. But
neat. That's neat. Yeah, roll with cold.
Can you give me the roll for the party?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And that I will be unable to express any of what happened to me.
I'm so sorry.
All right, there you go.
Cool. Ah, my dice are still here. That is a 7. +1.
Nice. So 7 to 9, the MC will describe how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it. So I think if you say you're already on edge, and Oz is being sort of nonchalant about this. So I don't think it's going to be like a breakdown from Magdalena, but I think it's going to be like a tear or two or a catch in your voice or something. Like Oz is going to see that something here is catching you up, and he'll take a string on you. Or you can bail on the situation now.
Well, she didn't come this way to run.
All right.
So
yeah, what's your catch up? What's your catch? What's your sort of hiccup, emotional tell?
as she's eating this taco, she just kind of starts crying a little bit, like silently.
Oh, you're skipping in and out some.
Any better?
Ooh,
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so it's like a bite of taco, wipe a tear away. Bite of taco, wipe a tear away.
Oh,
Trying to make this as unsaid as possible.
cool. So Oz, you could mark a string on Magdalena there, and yeah, you see this as like catching her up. Does Oz register that? Do you wheel it back? How do you respond to that?
God. You know, I think Oz is going to say the wrong thing, and I'm going to tempt you to yell at him.
Okay, what do you say?
Oh fuck! What?
Is it the casual mention of flaying? Because it could be that.
Oh! It's not your fault. When you want to apologize, that sounds pretty bad.
It's also the literal truth. Yeah, actual sobbing right here in the Mexican restaurant.
Do you take the string to yell at Oz?
Oh,
Or to take the XP?
no, it doesn't feel right.
Aw, I wanted to spend these strings in the worst possible ways.
I wonder.
So
You would have to say something else besides "it's not your fault."
Oh,
Do you want to try again?
what if I like followed up with "it's not your fault, you weren't in control"?
That's just still true.
Still true. God, I'm trying to think of something bad that Oz would say here.
I mean, Barry's giving you stuff in chat.
Oh, I haven't seen.
oh god.
Oh, I think like after he says it, yeah. I could totally see us doing that. And it's saying, oh man, even worse. Like I think he like it's Oz is eating the head, like he's commenting at the head meat taco. Like, oh man, this is delicious and tender. Because that's totally a thing. And it is really good.
Oz.
So you see this look of like nausea across Magdalena's face. And she pushes her chair back and stands and like with hands on the table says, how could you say something like that in front of me? You know what happened. You know what happened to me. And like, not to her, but other people. This was a mistake to come here. I should have. And then she just runs at the mirror.
I think Oz like was in mid-bite and like a little piece of meat fell out of his mouth as he just stares in like surprise.
Why don't we start with a shut someone down, and we'll see how things roll out from that.
Okay. That is a 7 plus 1 is 8.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, you choose one from below, but you come across poorly, and Oz is going to give you a condition back. Oz, do you still have strings on Tetsuka?
Yes, I do.
Take it back.
All right. So you want him to lose a string on you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Oz, what are you coming back with?
This sounds terrible, but I kind of want to do. But the taco did look good, just because I'm not actually doing it. But I think I'm gonna go with meat is murder.
All right. So yeah, I think we have a condition representing that a lot of your sort of worst memories are surfacing right now. God bless Oz. Okay. So you still turn to run?
I think she gives him this absolutely withering look. Because he doesn't understand any of what just happened. I'm going, and then she doesn't. I think instead of running through the mirror, she like takes her cloak and just like pulls it around her, and there's like that weird like spinning thing. And when it stops, there's nothing left.
Nice. I don't think that's necessarily a runaway. I think that is a dramatic exit. But Oz, would you try and like go after her at all, or is that just a confusing? You don't always understand why people react the way they do.
Um,
or something else.
I mean, Oz knows he fucks up all the time. At the same time, I kind of want to see what happens when Oz goes after her.
All right. Well, if you want to work a miracle, I think you can follow her.
You probably get just the edge of the black cloak if you would like to grab onto it.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oz totally grabs on for the ride.
It's a port key.
It's a port key. So
the question then becomes, I think, where is Magdalena going?
Yeah, I have a minute to think about that. But I want a miracle out of one of you here, at least. So, do you think, Magdalena, you're leaving an opening for him to follow, or do you think, Oz, that you're leaping after her?
She doesn't mean to leave it, no.
Okay. So, Oz, think about miracle choices. Magdalena, think about where you're going. Skipping back real quick to... You have a name. I can do this. Opep. Oh, fucking Opep. So you... Where were you trying to run away to?
Probably back
So
in, like...
loud.
Ah, fuck! Okay, I've turned myself down to almost nothing. Am I human?
That's a little below normal. It's nice.
Yay, that's like 24, and usually I'm at 74. I don't know what happened.
Oh, and to be clear, Sarah, I'm not trying to be mean to Ryan. Fucking OPEP is a refrain from the very first month of games when he played a different version of OPEP.
He was much better aligned with OPEP's general goals. Yeah, he's totally trying to go back to his home thing in the underground, but the underground doesn't really answer to him anymore, so I don't know how well that works out. But
Yeah, I think you come like you're tunneling, you're going through your snake tunnel, and that's going fine until you get to the area of the underground itself, until you get into the like zone of the weird pantheon sidereal semi-dimensional sort of space. And I think the problem is that you're still trying to approach it like Pluto. You're still trying to approach it as like the Lord of Wealth and caverns and hidden things in the underground. And that's not what you are now. You're similar. You do have a place in the underground, but it's different. And I think you come like I think you come tumbling out of the hanging horror granite trees that are like lighting above your room in your bedroom. But you come just like crashing through them and their branches and the terror granites like rip and claw at your skin as you come through. So take 2 harm, land in your bed, and as you land, like there's something jabbing into your side. Um, that's part of the pain there as you land, and you reach into a pocket in your jacket to pull out whatever this is, and it's like a ring box that you don't recognize it, you don't know where it came from, but there is a little like envelope and note on the outside. Um, do you open the envelope? Do you open the box? Do you do something else?
so first off, can you hear me now, Sarah, or am I screaming?
You're a little bit low.
Okay. Any better? Too loud? Normal?
A little bit high. You're Goldilocksing.
Ah, fuck. Um, am I getting better as I'm talking?
Ooh, that's good. I like that. Let's stay here.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. Apparently, I somehow infuriated Google, and now everyone will hear me differently forever. It's the worst curse.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna read the envelope
All right.
because I hate myself.
It is written in French. Do you read French?
There's like 0% chance I read French. I will attempt to read it anyway.
It's signed Pierre.
Who the fuck is Pierre? Zopep says out loud.
Do you open the box?
Yeah.
Um, as you open the box, there is a black absence of light that comes shining out of it. As floating up out of this ring box is an orb, is a moon, the dark side of the moon, the side that never sees the sun. It's Nyx's other eye.
I think we see the same line from him where it's just, well, shit.
So I think we're gonna take a break there. I No, you will do what I say. Do what I say. There. We have some music. We'll take a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 25 after. So if someone else wants to throw up a second song, I don't have anything else planned. Feel free. 10 minutes. See you then. Hello.
Hey, it's as if we all finished the music videos at the same time.
Weird how that works. Are people okay with going 15, 20 minutes late tonight? Make up for a little tech issue time? Cool. Then David, we'll have a second break here along, and we'll start with your song for that one.
Whatever. My song was just oh, hey, I like the song and it kind of fits, so no big deal if it doesn't.
I don't have a strongly planned soundtrack for tonight, so I like having players add to the soundtrack, so I'm cool with it. Anyways, we're gonna check back in with some answers to questions, and then we'll circle back around and do scenes with stuff. But Magdalena Tetskadipoka. That was something that was sort of weird. Anyways, where do you think you're trying to run away to?
I think she is aiming for Mexico City and gets it terribly, terribly wrong and ends up in London. Somewhere else in London.
All right. Do you have a strong sense of where?
For irony's sake, the middle of the Millennium Bridge.
Nice. David, choices on a miracle there to follow a fleeing Magdalena. You are muted.
Wrong direction on my mute. I'm very sorry about this, but I already decided that someone I care about gets hurt. And when you're on a bridge, that's a really bad thing. And the other thing is someone sees something that I don't want them to.
Cool. Okay, cool. So we have the obsidian coat swirling around in smoke and disappearing trick. The very tail edge of it reaches over, and you grab it, and sort of Oz also disappears into this much grayer and less intensely black wisp of smoke going after Magdalena. And I think there in the restaurant that y'all left, in a booth a couple of table lengths away from where you were, a raised menu lowers down from a face, and it's Dia, eyes glowing like sunset red gold, staring over where the two of you were just having a close and obviously emotional dinner. The other, someone gets hurt. I don't know. I think I will think about that for a moment. As Ryan, check in with Apep. There's that note left in French. It's not the world's most complicated thing. Do you type it into Google, or do you run to, say, Susanna, who I'm sure puts off the entire aura of, obviously I speak French?
She does kind of have I went to a super fancy prep school thing, so I could probably ask her. But I just noped out on her, so that might not go over super well if I ask her to translate a note. I'm just going to put it through Google Translate.
She say him not gift this.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm going to go find Susanna.
Susanna.
Yes.
Whoa.
Oh.
Why
am I super
Google?
well?
It's sort of, not overwhelmingly. Speak more words.
I will try and speak more words until you can dial me down. Or I will also check my local sound settings and see if I can turn down my input at all. Is this any better? Is this any better yet? Is this any better yet?
I think that's better.
Any better yet?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool. I will leave it right where it is then. Not touch it ever again.
The internet is against us, y'all.
Cursed.
Okay, Khonshu, hello.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Ahoy.
Not blasting out my eardrums. It's all good.
Sorry about that.
Welcome. I blame you.
It is all my fault.
So where would we find you? Is there a scene that you want to get in before Liam finds you again? Because I know we just left you on being pissed at him.
Probably, but I don't know what it is. We can do a divine the past at some point if we need to see just how upset that I was. So I'm gonna make a note to myself to be upset with Liam / Opep in flashback.
Nice. So where does Opep find you then?
I think so. I think that there is a lot that has gone down in London as I've been like kind of rediscovering myself. And let's say I don't know if either the portrait gallery or the I don't know where you said Lakshmi's remains were found, but like either of those would be. Either of those are places of like recent action that we can also frame.
Lakshmi's remains were found at in the middle of a major intersection, a big crossroads. It can be anywhere you want.
Okay.
The National Gallery, was where Apollo was.
Okay. Let's then. I think we're.
I think Trafalgar Square is actually right next to the National Gallery, so that might fit. I may be totally wrong. London people don't hate me, or hate me, whatever. You're in London. You can't punch me from there.
Let's check out Trafalgar Square then. Because I don't know that I met Lakshmi in much. Definitely not in anything like on camera, but this having happened is like at least a good bet at what Ra or any of Ra's people are up to. So I'm gonna check it out and see what I can find out.
So you got sort of investigation in mind?
I know that that's not like a specialty of the way that this system works, but
we've got.
You have miracle options. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's basically what Gaze into the Abyss is there for.
Yeah,
it's to say yes, you can ask questions, but be afraid. Be very afraid.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that sounds good. So I think that like this being an intersection, this is a place that a lot of people are obviously moving through. Travelers being one of my purviews, I'd be able to see like what's the difference between someone coming and going, and what does it look like when someone I can find out whether whether Lakshmi was killed here or brought here.
Nice. So do you think you're sort of like above and viewing the traffic patterns to divine things, or are you down on street level and just taking in the flow of everything?
I think that I do still like being surrounded by people who want my photograph and stuff. So I think I am at street level. I think I'm probably screwing up the traffic pattern by making a public appearance in this way. And like that may be enough for me to differentiate like what I'm seeing and what I'm divining.
All right. And gaze into the abyss. When you gaze in the abyss, name what you're looking for and roll with dark. So more specifically than what, how.
Sure.
What's your sort of question here?
I don't know whether this is. I've never gazed into an abyss before.
Exciting.
But I know. So I don't know if I'm like supposed to suggest something that I'm looking, or like suggest an outcome.
Yeah, give me either a particular question or like a more specific area than what happened for
Sure.
like your investigation lane.
Well, what I want to know is who's responsible for Lakshmi's death.
Cool.
Who specifically? More than anything else about the. Yeah, and maybe that person brought them. Maybe they did not. I don't know.
So roll with dark.
Okay, that will be an 8.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, the abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. So you're like moving in and around this intersection. You're screwing up traffic patterns. People are like stopping and taking pictures and videos of you. I think maybe even in your distracted state, you're like signing a couple of autographs and getting the name wrong, sort of thing. As you're just like this intersection is washing over you. And you're trying to follow threads back into the past. And you see like this stain that's still in the middle of the intersection, Lakshmi's blood, and you feel like it's like for a moment you hear it dripping and falling there, in the sense that like you know this is where he was killed. And as you hear that dripping, like you feel this pain at your neck. You feel this like sensation of your head being cut, removed, killed, pain, stabbing, cutting, sort of thing. And when the sort of like red pain fades from your vision, you try to turn your head, and you can't. You move your eyes frantically back and forth, and you can see like a wooden sort of ledge beneath you. You can see as you look to the side these shapes, these heads that are on this. Oh God, this is a shelf next to you. And you see someone down below you, down below the shelf, with Lakshmi's head. In a sense of like it's his head, but it's just the skull at this point. And you see someone sort of hunched over a table. He's got this like black leather baseball cap, or they got this black leather baseball cap. You can't really see their face, their form very well. They're engraving, they're carving a symbol into the skull, and it's like sparking and sort of flaking off like dark little arcs of electricity, as they do. And when they finish the symbol, they lift it up, sort of look at it in the light, and then hand it to someone else. As you see stepping out of the darkness into the pool of light, and underneath this shelf that you're sitting on is Enma, who picks up the skull, inspects the handiwork, and smiles.
Awesome. I have something that I'm afraid of that I don't know if I should name now.
I really feel like it would be unfair to the group if you didn't bring enough fears to share with everyone.
Because I am really concerned that whatever was getting carved into that skull is that same sigil that that Angus and Liam and I were branded with from Magdalena's curse.
Oh no! What if it was?
I know, it's terrible. I don't want that to happen, and so that's obviously what happened. Oh,
And
no.
and I mean, I would feel awful just arbitrating and saying that that's what happened. So let's blame the dice.
Okay.
Dice, what do you say? Why don't you roll with cold?
Okay. Do I have anything that could make this any better for me? This is going to be bad. Oh, this is bad. Well, I'm just going to roll them. And manage a 10. So,
Oh, that is not what you see. But you get to ask me a question about the situation.
I don't remember if this is keep your cool, or is this a...
Yes, this is keep your cool.
Okay.
So on a 10 up, you keep your cool. That's
Convenient.
not the sigil that you see on being carved in there, but you do gain insight. So you ask me one question about the situation, and you'll take a +1 forward to acting on it.
Okay. Who's working for Enma?
You feel a kinship. You know this is somehow, well, no, because we have Magdalena here. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna rewrite things a little bit. Baron Criminel, who's who this is not actually part of the Detheon, though
Perfect.
you could be forgiven for making that mistake, as one true Enma is not really part of the Detheon anymore, and so therefore gods that Z awakens would feel familiar but not quite the same.
Oh, it's awful, and I hate it, and I love it.
Does it feel like good answers?
Those feel like very good answers.
That was surprisingly good investigation work for a game not about investigation. That was a nice little set of rolls.
I know, it can be done, everybody.
So yeah, stew in that for a moment as we're gonna go back around to Tezcatlipoca and Osiris appearing on the Millennium Bridge together. Magdalena, you see that you were running away, and this like walking wound of a social faux pas somehow managed to follow you. What do you do?
I think she swears in Spanish and then immediately tries to run again.
So Oz actually like has a Latina heritage, and I think he like shouts in Spanish language.
So Sarah, what are you aiming towards? Like, do you want to just get away from Oz and have a scene with someone else, or are you into the chase here?
I like the idea of having a chase across London, but I would eventually like to end up at the Pantheon sooner rather than later, I think.
I like that
probably
too.
Probably after Khonshu and Apep have their scene.
Well, let's I think now I am interested in a runaway, just because if y'all are blipping back and forth across London, which I don't doubt either of your ability to do, there is a chance that like there's people out there in London that are sort of hostile towards y'all.
That is a 6. Hold on. +1 is 7.
Nice. So you've managed to scrape it out on a runaway. When you run away, roll with volatile on a 7 to 9. So you're gonna cause a big scene.
Can I break the bridge?
I definitely think you can break the bridge. I think that makes sense. What does that look like?
I think it cracks like straight down the middle. Like not in the middle, but down the middle, end to end. And it holds for like 5 seconds and then just collapses into the water.
Nice. So yeah, I think y'all had like this magic teleporting, getting in half a sentence before hopping to the next place sort of thing across London. You come back, you end up like the exact same place where you started from, but as you land, like there is just this awful sound of cracking and breaking and too much magic being thrown at poor masonry. Uh, and it just the bridge like splits in half and sort of falls in on itself towards the middle of it, as like all along it just crumbles in and starts falling off pieces and bricks.
I think like as it's cracking, Oz like looks down and looks up and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And he's totally going for a swim here.
Nice. So Oz wet paddling in the water. We'll come back to y'all in a moment. You have
He
something?
is the
David?
god of flooding.
True enough. Hopefully you can turn it cool out of flopping down in the water. So yeah, Khonshu, what do you look like as Apep finds you? Like, what's your expression, demeanor? Are you still there in Trafalgar Square?
I think I am, and I think I think that the papers are going to be like just lousy with photos of Khonshu just kind of like sitting at a curb with her face like just kind of buried in her hands, thinking like this is like not a mythical moment by any means. This is Khonshu realizing like that there's a reckoning that's going to have to happen, and so I think that there will be like I think that there will be like stills of like at first Khonshu trying to hide her face, and then like more stills of like you can see like the welling up of tears. And these will all run in tomorrow's paper for sure.
Nice. Apep entrance.
Probably also shots of Apep like serpent screaming out of the ground, and then there's just Liam there, kind of walking up, looking as sort of sheepish about the whole thing. This is totally going to be in a tabloid tomorrow.
Oh yeah, good luck keeping this relationship secret going forward.
And then sort of like, so I know I need to apologize for everything, and also there's this note, and I mean, it seems like you probably know French.
And I I take my hand away from my face, and thankfully godly eyeshadow does not smear, which is awesome. But as I turn up and look at you, I don't know if you know about Lakshmi, or if that's Barry doesn't remember. Sorry.
I think Pluto was one of the first gods. So he probably met Lakshmi at some point and just didn't hang out a bunch because Lakshmi was all about parties and good times, and Pluto was all about
not
living in the basement.
Okay. So Khonshu didn't know Lakshmi at all, but but she looks up to you, and just says, "It was Enma. It was Enma. How can we even? What can we do about them?"
fucking. It's not even Enma. It's some pretender acting like. It's
No.
Enma.
No, I saw it.
No, I mean, you never knew the real Enma, did you? There was
Just
the first one.
just the one true one.
Yeah, and then there's like some usurper pretending to be Enma, and they're not the same at all.
Well, whatever this Enma is, I think they're coming for us.
Fuck, I guess they did go. Right.
Lakshmi's
For the skull thing.
Lakshmi's head is somewhere with a bunch of other ones, and someone took Nyx's ideas a little too far, I think.
Yeah, so I have Nyx's missing eye. And
What?
I can't decipher because it's in French, and I don't speak French. Or, I mean, read French.
Amazing.
I was really hoping you were gonna bury the lead with the I've got this note. Also, I have Nyx's eye. But
I don't have the integrity stat anymore, but I still believe in telling the truth up front.
fair enough.
So, yeah, a lot of shit. Khonshu just poured a whole heap of other things on you, and as previously mentioned, you do have Nyx's eye. I think I'm interested in seeing you make a keep your cool here as well. What are you afraid of? You might do, you might realize, might be true about the situation. What are you afraid of?
Which you are you talking to?
Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Oh no. I'm afraid of my being generally really bad at interpersonal relationships. It's going to come back to bite me right now, in this moment, when we've got godly stuff going on too. But I am so bad at dating. I mean, you saw that relationship with Eris, right? That went so badly, and then he died.
Fair. Why don't you roll with gold?
Fortunately, I'm super cold, so that's a 7.
All right. Let's see. 7 to 9. I'll tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it. So, I think as you're there, like comforting Khonshu and being sort of obvious and relationshipy there, you'll see come like striding down the sidewalk with this look of I am gonna have it out with you, and like there are gonna be words, and it's probably gonna be streamed because they have a camera. You see Oliver, the super fan who's been in all of the issues thus far. You just never really noticed him before, and he is wearing t-shirt, obviously like one he made or had custom made, that has like this big heart, and in the middle of it is like mashed up together picture of Angus and Pluto. Um, yeah, with the phrase "Plangus forever" underneath it. And so you can stay here. comfort Khonshu, and have this like recorded berating from Ollie the super fan yelling at you about how you abandoned Angus and you're fickle and you have no real heart. Or like you can just bail and get out of here.
So I kinda hate him for real person shipping already, and Pluto is dead, and I have no real heart, so I'm gonna go through with this.
So, do you like stoically endure being berated? Because I mean, it's gonna last for a couple of minutes. It's not like this guy's gonna get physical. It's gonna pass after it's over. It will be on the internet. But
I fucking bite my tongue, which triggers a move.
it does indeed. Why don't you read that move?
Patience is a virtue. When you bite your tongue and don't respond to an antagonist, roll with cold. On a 10 up, gain a string on them. On a 7 to 9, take one forward to strike you the next time you see them. Because
Why don't you
I make
roll?
good choices all the time, forever.
That's what OPEP is all about.
That's also what Pluto was all about. But that is a fucking 13, so I get a string on him.
Lovely. Would you like to spend it to dictate how he's gonna act in the situation, or give like a request of him?
Brian, I'll spend a string on you and give you an XP if you talk extensively about how you are with Khonshu now.
Yeah, so Liam, not Opep, goes into a tirade about how attaching yourself to the idea of two people you don't even know as in a relationship is unrealistic and honestly kind of cruel. And also, Pluto is dead. I mean, that happened like 6 months ago. There is no Pluto anymore. It's just Liam, okay? Do you have any idea who I even am? You never cared about who I am. You don't know my real name. I mean, did you even know I was Chinese or something? I mean, fuck you. Who even are you? And just, I'm sure all of this is going to be on YouTube at some point.
It's amazing. I love that. Did you even know that I'm Chinese or something?
I'm not hearing you standing up for me, though.
Have you been to any of my shows? Come on. And
Oh.
also, I mean, did you know I was with Khonshu? I mean, that... You're laying into me, and I don't think you even know the story here. You have any idea who I am and what I'm up to. Or who I'm with. I mean... Fucking... You just read a Wikipedia article about me or something, didn't you?
So, do you want to hang on to the string, or do you want to spend it to dictate like how he responds to this? And you get an XP from Barry.
I was really hoping that he was going to update his merch.
Oh my god, I didn't see her bug until now. Yeah, sure. I will spend that string to make the parting point of you should really update your merch.
So yeah, I think like later on that night, or like if you ever follow up to track down that thing, you see like the video, and then you see the follow-up one where Ollie is talking about like how he really had been living in the past with the whole Plangus thing, and how Conpep was obviously like the way to go forward. Like they really seem strong, like they were willing to show their love in public amongst everyone, and like you've made a total convert for your new relationship, and he will definitely believe Conchu and Angus for or Upep forever.
Can I just also say that this point is also driven home by the fact that his eyes are not human eyes. They're slit pupiled and gold through this entire tirade. And at one point, it looks like his tongue is forked. He doesn't seem terribly human.
I think right underneath the like emotional vlog videos there's one of those like 10 things you missed. And someone has gone through with yellow arrows and pointed out like zoomed in on your eyes and made all these theories about what it means.
Yes, I hate / love it.
So
This is amazing.
that was all ridiculous and me just torturing you for coming in. Is there something that either of you would like to get out of the scene? Would you like to move it somewhere else?
I want Susanna to translate the note, but also I kind of want Susanna to lay into Opep. Like, I would spend a string on her, but I don't have any, so I'll just ask nicely.
Well, you are going to have to work on that then, because like it's nice to be stood up for. So no, I'll translate that note. What does it say?
So it says, she said, and it's capital She said, capital H he, mustn't find this. Pierre.
She said he mustn't find this. And the eye itself is, you said the dark side of the moon?
Yeah, it's like the one that you saw Ra twirling around, that you saw Magdalena with. It's an orb. It's not like a bloody eyeball. It's like a little floating moon. But the whole thing is dark. It's you see the sort of duality. It's the dark side of the moon.
Okay. Then we should go somewhere private, I say, and I reach out for Liam's hand, and I don't know if I want to try and turn him on with this also.
I don't see why you would hold back.
No, I think that's if we're gonna power couple, we're gonna power couple this all the way through. So no, I'll say I'm not gonna translate the note here. Having read it and knowing what you have, I'll take your hand and I'll say, let's go somewhere private. I'll show you what it means.
So why don't you roll with hot?
That I will. Oh, and I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to like, I'm gonna kind of, now that I've had a second to like to be defended and feel like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Nothing's gonna be okay. I can I'll collect myself a little bit and I'll give Liam kind of like the kind of little tease that I might have otherwise given to like some of the paparazzi around, because Liam is my adoring fan. So I'm going to use that condition against him for bonus to turn him on. And that's an 11. That'll work.
Indeed.
So turn him
Get
on.
a string on him, and you choose a react, and he chooses a reaction below.
Oh, you can. Oh, you choose it. Okay.
I'll give myself to you in the sense of going along with whatever it is that she's doing at this point, which I think is like moon zapping me away to another location.
We are going to go figure out what this thing is real quick.
And I think an important part of it is making sure that before, like, as y'all are exiting in a beam of moonlight, that you have the perfect couple shot that you hold for a couple of seconds so people can get pictures of it.
And I just want to point out that Liam's lighting has never been better. It is so good in this shot.
Oh my god, it's amazing. Cool. So, there's a tumble of a bridge, and Oz sort of floating around in the water beneath you, Magdalena. Oz, what are you doing?
Fuck. Anyways, I was thinking that I end up washing up somewhere interesting. I was thinking that like that might be like how I interact with another one of the PCs, but fuck.
Can I do something
decisions.
if the river is carrying you away?
Yes.
What do you got? Throw it out there, Sarah.
I can curse people.
Oh fuck, yes, do it. Oh, this is terrible.
Amazing.
Do you
Well,
still have? You do not. Okay.
Why don't you read out that Eye of Baelor move?
You can levy curses on people, choose bad weather, blight, or illness, and then roll volatile. On a 10-up, your curse strikes at the worst time for your target. On a 7 to 9, it strikes immediately, and you are obviously the source. On a miss, it doesn't happen, and you gain the condition enraged.
Does this do harm?
No. It doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
Unless maybe it's illness.
Because I have a move that affects if someone tries to do me harm.
It might not trigger now, though. Depending on how I roll. So yeah, so she just starts swearing at you.
Yeah. Sarah, you're choosing before you roll, so what are you going to choose? Weather, blight, or illness?
Weather.
Okay. So I don't think that's going to hit up on Draconic Splendor.
Okay.
If it was illness, it definitely would. If it was blight, I'd have you describe it. But I think weather's not directly harming you.
At some point, someone's going to try to hurt me. No.
Okay.
All right, so roll with something.
That is a 4. +1 is still only a 5.
Oh my.
None of your conditions help.
Can I try to believe in her? Because Pluto, on some level, realizes that Oz is likable enough that he can't act against him. But he doesn't really like many people.
Would you believe in Magdalena, though?
True, I hate Magdalena. I mean, fuck both of you.
So, okay, so not. All right.
Nope, I retract it. You can embrace your doom.
Yeah.
See, I think she's standing on like the last remaining piece of bridge on one of the sides, just screaming at you as the current carries you away.
Yeah.
This feels familiar.
So yeah, you get an XP. You get the condition enraged. And so you're trying to curse him with weather. Sorry, I'm just looking at notes. So the Millennium Bridge, we talked about it before. Is it in front of the cathedral?
It's in between the Modern Art Museum, I think the Tate Modern, and it's not exactly next to St. Peter's, but it's like a very clear line of sight from the bridge to it. It looks like it's right next to it.
Okay.
And it's like a 5-minute walk, if that.
Cool. So you are there, like just yelling at him, laying into him. It's getting
All of it in Spanish.
Oh yeah, and you're like it's just a bad scene overall. But suddenly your ranting is drowned out by a crack of thunder, as out of like the clear sky above you, a bolt of lightning strikes down, and you see it. It looks like it strikes basically on St. Paul's Cathedral. And a moment or two later, you'll see like some licks of flame going up. So what are you gonna do?
Pause, because I'm fairly sure this is a member of the Suntheon. And what if it's Richard's? Like there is no.
Do you want a moment to mull that over?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
back to Oz, maybe.
I'll say in the sense of like looking at it from writer's room, like if you this is Richards, it's also someone else. This is another fight that's sort of intersecting with your own. But think about how you might want to approach that. Oz, are you going to get tangled up in further nonsense, or are you going to float down the river and find other things to get in trouble with?
I was thinking that maybe I like wash up in the underground, like where Kanchu and Apep were.
Nice. So I think we're gonna have a little bit of a scene with Kanchu and Apep, and then we'll have you wash in at like the least opportune moment.
Of course.
Obviously. So yeah, y'all have made it back to the underground. Are you there, Ryan?
He's off cam. Can still hear for like a minute. So.
Oh, okay. There we go.
He'll be back shortly.
So yeah, Kanchu, we'll lead off with you.
Sure.
We can go back to me if you want.
Yeah, you want to talk it out? What you got?
So I think there's a moment of like genuine terror, and then she like remembers what it felt like to not win against a god when this new one came in, but to fight and like make that worth something. And she decides to stand her ground.
Nice. So you're going towards the cathedral?
Sorry?
Are you going towards the cathedral then?
Yeah.
So I think as you run up on it, you see in the like doorway central arch going into the cathedral, you see sort of like knocked down on the ground, half sitting up, is Father Richards. His glasses are doing that glowing thing, but you see one of them is like cracked halfway through and has flaked off. You actually see blood coming down his like from his lip, which may be notable because you beat on him a lot and didn't manage that before.
Oh, not me.
Oh, true. Yes. Other Sarahs.
We're best friends.
True enough. You see the flames licking up around the doorway around him. It's not like the whole building is engulfed or anything, but this section right here is definitely looking like it's wanting to catch on fire. And standing over him, lightning sparking around him, is Zolotl. which you can find him on the NPCs and Places tab. He is the actual worst TM. He's standing over Father Richards. You can see his eyes glowing with this like golden electricity, and you can feel that fervor coming off of Zolotl. You can feel that like you recognize someone who is letting the god drive. You don't know if this is like a long-term thing like you had, or if this is a thing of the moment. But he's yelling at Father Richards about your fervor, your faith is cracking, your belief is waning, and Ra needs to see results. Ra needs you to finish your projects, or else none of us are going to get what we deserve. And he looks like he's going in to attack him again. What do you do?
That is the word of almost flashback to see someone like let the god take that kind of control, like completely. And so my darkest self move is all about hate. And I think this moment I feel hate for the god and also the person in that body, the human. Oh, meh. And also for the person in that body who is the human, because they have stopped fighting. And like, I remember what that was like, and I never want it again.
So do you think you're leaning into going into Darkest Self here?
If not mechanically.
I'm okay with like you going into it mechanically if you want.
Okay.
So let's see. Darkest Safe. Hate is what you know best. Unleash all of Dante's hells upon people. Crush the weak before you and force the strong to bow. Any slight is met with the grandest show of force you can muster. Stay in your darkest self until you drive someone to seriously doubt themselves, or a person you hate admits they fear you. So yeah, this washes through you. You like, this is hitting too many of your flags, ringing too many bells. What do you do?
I would like to summon a hurricane into this room.
Into it. Are you?
This feels like a miracle.
Yeah. My thing was, if you go with miracle, the choice is like, I want to sweep this problem out of the way in one go right now.
Okay.
If you're wanting like a scene, then I'd use like miraculous moves. Unleash violence.
Lash out physically.
Lash out physically. So what do you think you want here? Do you want an extended scene with Zolotl, or do you want to get rid of him and deal with have a scene with Father Richards?
How late are we going tonight?
We're going to take a break here in a moment. We're going to go till about 1:45, 1:50.
Okay, so that'll probably be, because I do want to get in the scene with Khonshu and Apep before the end.
Okay, so do you want to just use a miracle and sort this whole scene in one move?
If you'll let me, I would like to destroy St. Peter's.
I am
just
very excited and appropriately horrified by your suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, describe. You pick up the entire cathedral? Was that your words?
Well, in a hurricane, in a very large hurricane. Yes. So I think it starts in the room weirdly, like there's no clouds or wind. It just like starts gathering, and then like it starts picking up the pews and those hymnals, and just throwing them everywhere, and it starts like breaking the windows, and like things start cracking off the walls, all the statues, and one of them probably like hits Father Richards in the head. And it just, everything starts peeling off the walls and gathering in, and then the walls start caving in, and the whole thing just kind of collapses and is carried off.
Wow. So I'm assuming Zalotl is getting carried away with the hurricane because it was sort of directed at him.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the disposition of Father Richards? Surya, I suppose, would be the more comforting thing to refer to him as, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he probably gets stuck in the eye of the storm and is like relatively untouched. Like that statue that hit him like knocks him into the center. And so when the hurricane like lifts off and moves away into some other part of London, who knows? You can decide that later.
What are your
He's
miracle
left behind.
Nice. What are your miracle choices going to be?
Always, it takes on a life of its own.
Amazing. Fuck off, London.
I'm thinking maybe you attract another god to the scene. Can it be Khonshu and Apep?
Yes, it definitely can be. Khonshu and Apep, the two of you are running away clearly to the underground, clearly to Apep's wonderful glowing room, which is a little crashed at the moment.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I just realized I just stole
No.
Oz's.
Well, I was.
I can wash up here. That's perfectly all right.
Here we're all coming together. But instead of ending up there, the two of you pop out of your hole in what takes you maybe a few moments to recognize as the wreckage of where St. Peter's used to be. Oz, your river ride is going to take you around for a while and drop you right back where you started, basically. But with the people you were going after. And
Oz is really bad at this, so it totally makes sense.
and so we will come back to a scene with all y'all. Let's see. We have David's song further up in the chat.
I'm not sure if that's appropriate anymore. I'm very quickly trying to find something else to replace it. This is the best I can do on short notice, I think.
All right. Doop. And then I have that for after. We'll come back at 30 after. Sound good? You know you love Ra. Also, agree. Dorothy is pretty amazing. Okay, so I'm going to play with volume a little bit. Nope, somewhere in there. There we go. Okay, comfortable. Briefly reframe where we are, then go around the circle, get everybody's like hot takes, reactions for the scene. We'll play out a little bit of the scene. We'll hit some epilogue stuff. We'll end at some point before tomorrow morning. All right, ready? So we are on St. Paul's Cathedral, in the sense that if you just like cleanly cut the entire building at ground level and lifted it off, leaving the floor and everything still there, although pews sort of tumbled about and whatnot, that's what you're standing on. There is, I think, the eye of this weird hurricane is still swirling around you. It is swirling not in a perfect circle, but in a perfect outline of the cathedral that used to be there. It's weird to see a hurricane swirling in corners. Sarah, is Father Richard still there, or did you specifically want to boot him out of the scene?
Well, in order to get me out of my darkest self, someone I hate has to admit that they fear me. So it would be nice if he stayed just for a little while.
Cool. So Father Richard's a bit battered, a bit bloody, is still sort of half leaning up from the ground. A shaft of sparkling moonlight comes down through the eye of this hurricane, depositing our power couple, and the river, having picked Oz up from the river, will come splashing through to join with this lovely storm and make some flood-related mayhem, but also deposit Oz off into the middle of the scene. So, yeah, last to arrive, first to give a hot take. Oz, what is your hot take on this scene and the people in front of you, and how would you be approaching? Like, what would be your first move here?
So basically we have Father Richard's injured, Magdalena pissed and calling up a hurricane. Zolotol basically winded the fuck out of here.
Yep, not even a sign of him anymore.
Oz coming in drenched. Yeah. God,
You were aiming for Khonshu and Apep. Like, who out of them specifically were you aiming for?
Honestly, probably Apep. I probably thought if I fucked up with Magdalena, I probably wanted to convince him to, try to bury the hatchet with Magdalena.
Gotcha. So that's how you're coming in on this. You like Magdalena, and having fucked it up with her is still very much on your mind. Because, to be fair, it happened like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And your approach was going to be Apep, but we'll see how that evolves. I think that's cool. Aforementioned fucking Apep. Hot take on the situation around you and how you might approach things to start with.
First off, I don't think Apep intended to plump down in the middle of a hurricane. What the fuck? But if Oz shows up, he's going to reflexively Cobra Girl, Snake Kiss, whatever, because fuck that shit. And also Magdalena. He's not super into Magdalena either. I mean, overall, not real happy about any of this.
I can understand with Magdalena. Is there a particular grievance with Oz, or is it just eye-rolling Oz?
It's not Liam has a grievance so much as that Osiris occupies the raft with Ra every night, and Apep really, really wants to eat him.
Okay, so you're
William doesn't
getting a
care.
little sneaky inside. Cool. Khonshu, your power coupling is, it's off and on today. It's been a rocky start.
Right.
Hot take on the situation and what you might approach.
Well, I have a thought about what might have been what precisely drew us here.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Tell me if this sounds cool or if I'm overreaching.
Lay it out there.
But like what I was thinking was like go back to it was the massive hurricane. I did not get that on a text alert, but I like to think that like we took like this eye of Nyx back like immediately, and would have been like I don't know, maybe gazing into the abyss with it, and if it's showing gods from the pantheon, that might be a I don't know. That might be a way in, and then like if like Apep would definitely not be into it, but like but Khonshu seeing Magdalena now like in fully resplendent godhood tearing up London, like this is not the right kind of progress for Magdalena. We need to go now.
So, you got swept up in multiple god magics and this moon eye in front of you. Do you want to trigger that gaze into the abyss?
Only if that makes sense for the fiction. Otherwise, like I'm fine with like any other I'm fine with getting the text about it's Magdalena getting.
I think it's cool to have you have some like weird visions in mid transit and have strange things happen.
Okay.
Give me your question and your role so I can be mulling it over in the back of my mind, and then we'll keep going around.
Sure. The question is, and this might be a Sarah question. But I'll throw it out there. What would it take to get Magdalena to stop?
I mean, that's answered by my darkest self.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So, yeah. And Father Richards is very clearly there.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I can give you a different question, or we could just advance to it.
Yeah.
And I asked a different one in that. Let's just advance to it, I think, because I'm not going to land on it in the next 2 minutes. So.
Okay. And Magdalena, Tezcatlipoca, how are you feeling right now? I know that was even worse.
Good.
So yeah, you were having it out with Father Richards and some stranger. You called Hurricane, and now like half the Detheon is here staring at you.
Oh, I don't think I noticed them. Just on Father Richards. They've like appeared directly around us.
Can you cut your video? I'm sorry.
Around us, which might be the case.
There's a lot of distracting things going on. I can say that it takes you a minute to notice them.
Okay.
What would you don't notice them? So what's your action?
Is Father Richards conscious?
Yes.
Okay, then I go up to him and like take him by the front of his shirt and kind of drag him up and say like directly into his face, the things you made me do I remember every one of them. Do you know how that felt?
So, what is your intention here? Do you think you're going for a shut someone down, a lash out, or your curse, the Eye of Baelor?
Oh, can I curse him? That'd be great.
That's yes, you can 100% roll to curse him.
All these fancy new moves.
Okay. Weather, blight, or illness? Obviously, we have some weather.
What is blight exactly? Just like slow death?
Let's see. Hurricanes, the Earth, rulership, divination, obsidian war. I mean, blight is something that's going to be going on around him. I think illness would be directing it internally on him.
Okay, that is perfect though, because he's a sun god and I want to corrupt that.
Cool. So why don't you roll with volatile?
That is an 8 and 9.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, it strikes immediately, and you are obviously the source.
That is totally fine.
So give me a minute to ponder on that. But Oz, you see Magdalena there, like she is laying into Father Richards, and her voice is getting more and more sort of resonant and godly. You see the other two still sparkling with a bit of moonlight. What do you do?
This is so fucked up. I think this is what Oz is going to do. I'm going to spend a string on Magdalena if you kill him. Or at least try to kill him.
Oh.
I'm going to... Because Oz does not know that Father Richards did not actually kill Eris.
Well, he certainly tried.
So...
Are you interested in that, Sarah?
Just trying to think if Magdalena would be.
Well,
yeah,
it's also a meta attempt because we have strings and XP here, so it's an element of what you want to see out of the story too.
I think in this moment, yes. And it's this weird kind of connection almost with Huitzilopochtli, which is interesting and awful. I don't think she takes his heart, but she considers it.
You had your god ripped out of you, and it left you desolate. Was that something that you do to him?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think it's definitely enough death to hit at that string there. David, would that make you happy?
Oh yeah. I think what Oz did was probably walk up very quietly behind Magdalena, probably quiet enough that she wasn't even sure if he was just a voice in her head or not. And he said,
"Oh, that's the worst."
Just very quietly says, "If anyone deserves it, it's him. Go ahead."
And I think I put my hand against just the breastbone right here, Father Richards, and just right over his heart, and pull, and we see these threads of darkness attached to my fingers, pulling out this light and dimming it.
Oh, it's amazing. And yeah, he is screaming in existential agony. There's a lot of that going on. There's I think dark flames lick up around the two of you. And wow, you're ripping Surya right out of him. I think this is definitely gonna fall into, well, you had your curse there. Make me one miracle choice, and we'll merge the two together and do a big thingo.
It would be if it God's personality takes you for. But I do want to have an actual scene with the rest of you guys. So let's go with someone sees what you don't want them to. Which I think might just be this. Like her doing this. After what was done to her.
Do you, like, is there a look of enjoyment or satisfaction on your face? Or is there a look of savagery?
I think it's like righteous satisfaction. But like, yeah, like this is power. And that feels good.
So yeah, I think Oz at the very least had been sort of thinking, you know, this is Magdalena, not Huitzilopochtli, but this is very
Magdalena.
Yeah, this is very shades of the things that you thought were the gods' fault. Nice. That's horrifying and beautiful. And Khonshu, how do you react?
So I know what I want to angle for.
Yeah.
And I think what I do is I like as I see what Tezcatlipoca does to Father Richards, and that Oz is egging her on. I think that I'm going to shout at both of them that that you're doing exactly what Nyx would want you to do, exactly what Ra would want you to do, or exactly what Enma would want you to do. Pluto died so that we would so that you wouldn't have to keep doing this, Magdalena. And I'm gonna call her on her shit.
Cool.
And
get the roll on the table so that we can get a sense of how this is going to go. But yeah, I'd like to have a little interaction between y'all to actually play this out some.
Yeah. I think that I think that I also I will be the most obnoxious and tell you to calm down.
That's the worst thing to say to anyone.
I know, and yet it's still a +1.
So you hitting on enrage there?
Yes.
Lovely.
I do not have any strengths for this, and my cold is a -1.
You're hitting on enrage to calm me down?
No, he's hitting on enrage by telling you to calm down, which is obviously just going to make things worse.
Okay, this is at -1. Okay, that is a 3.
Oh, a 3, you say?
I did.
Do you want me to believe in you, or do you want your XP? I'll probably fail believing in you anyway.
That's unicorn talk right there. So I think that means you have to do it.
I mean, this is the other half of your power couple. Did you see all those fucking hand claps before? This shit is for serious.
Even though Pluto's dead, I am right fucking here. You saw me, Khonshu. Come on. Stop telling people I'm dead. Even if I'm not Pluto anymore. Yeah, I'm totally.
It's
totally
literally
this.
what you told Ollie.
I know it's true. Pluto's dead, but also I was Pluto, and also I'm not dead, and that's a 7. So you bump up 1 level of success.
Yes. So that will take it to a that will take call people on their shit to a 7, which is I come across poorly, and you get to give me a condition in return. So you lose a string against someone else, or you choke up, break down, or bail. So you're going to lose your string on OPEP.
Okay. So
Oh,
this comes off sort of successfully. It's making you look like it's lowering your it's lowering Oz's estimation of you in a way. But you're getting to throw back a condition. So yeah. So Khonshu had just like called you out like this is all the same shit. You're just going to continue this forward. It's we've seen this mess before. How do you react? Like have a scene.
do I get to choose one of those responses as well? Or...
You're giving a condition back, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you're responding, you can think of a condition. But yeah, role play.
Okay. Oh, the thing is, though, like I think her response to that would be like to break down.
Yeah, like
Okay, so the condition I give you is I'm right.
Sorry,
I think
can
you
give me
have
that one more
to.
time?
Yeah, I think you might have to mute video
okay.
again.
I want to give is I'm right
I'm right.
or you're right.
In
I
what
will
sense?
happily take a condition that tells me that I'm right. That's lovely.
Um.
Oh no! Did we lose Sarah?
No.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Just the video.
Oh, now I'm questioning. Yeah, we'll see. Opep. What's up? Stuff. What do you do? Nod silently and don't get involved.
First off, believe in Khonshu, sort of subconsciously, and second, a whole bunch of what the fuck right now because he's very torn. Liam really hates Magdalena. Opep really hates Osiris. He's kind of torn.
I think it might be a time to keep your cool then.
Probably, yeah.
What are you afraid
Have a
might
bunch of
happen?
cool. I'm afraid I'm gonna sneak out at someone right here, right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I got a 13, so I am really super cold.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah?
I'll give you an XP if you snake out on somebody.
I love XP. Who do you want me to snake out on, or do you care?
I mean, it would be weird if you did it to me, but go with go with your gut.
I mean, yeah, it would be weird if I did it to you, given that you're the only person in this situation that I have no reason to snake out on.
Do you snake
Even
out on Ted
depowered Father
Scadley-Poca?
Richards. Possibly? Especially given that I previously refused to forgive her for actions she took while possessed by a god.
I will. Let's see. Schnaberdorf. Where are you? There you are. Yep. I'm gonna lean on Magdalena's curse, and I'll offer you an XP there too. As if you like, if you snake out and go after Magdalena, because she's letting the god go again. You know, you could feel her regret still echoing around in your head, and I mean, maybe it's just better to not be than to be taken over by a god again.
I'm leveling up on all this terrible XP. I'm gonna sneak out and try to eat Magdalena, like you do. That's a rational decision to make.
True. So you can go ahead and clear
So-
Magdalena's curse as well as everything else.
Do the people here accept or reject me as a giant nightmare murder snake? As Liam just kind of explodes out of himself into giant black cobra.
Yeah, we already got
Glossy and
Khonshu's
black as a clove
answer.
cigarette.
I knew you had it in you.
Oz, do you accept or reject what's going on?
I'm pretty sure I have to reject this.
Makes sense. Is that a string?
Uh,
I'm trying to remember how the move
mean-
works.
Everyone who sees me snake out gains a string. It's just that if they accept or reject, they either get XP or I get +1 for it against them. So I have +1 for it against Oz. Ha ha ha.
yeah. Oz is the king of bad ideas.
And then Magdalena, do you accept or reject this giant snake monster that's trying to kill you?
I accept him.
Wow.
Magdalena for being so accepting.
And a string.
And string.
Wait. So I get this.
A string on Opep and an XP.
Okay.
I wish I could accept Snake Opep, but I disapprove of your choice of repossession.
So Snake Opep.
I told Khonshu it wasn't a choice. I don't know why you haven't gotten the memo yet.
Snake Opep, why don't you lash out physically?
I'm gonna lash out. Let's see if I fail. That's a 5.
Oh no.
And I have nothing to add to it. Oh no, I have 1 to add to it, which wouldn't help. So yeah, that's a 5.
Can I would like to offer.
There is meat is murder if you want to dig the knife in.
True. I will spend my string and I will tag meat as murder to make that a 7.
Okay, you got to tell me how you link this back into her crimes. What is it, Sarah?
Well, I would like to offer you a string if you actually kill me, or an experience point.
Oh my god, that's awful. Yeah, so I think when Liam arrives in the scene, he does that kind of automatic snake hiss thing at Osiris and gets himself under control again, and it takes a second, and then he realizes Magdalena's there, and it just breaks because Liam doesn't want to be under control. He really wants to fuck up Magdalena for what she did to Eris, and he just totally snakes out, and that kind of arching cobra strike thing where as the snake bursts out of Liam, the remains kind of curl away like bits of smoke in an overly crowded nightclub or something, and Malchus kind of closes over Magdalena.
And I just
You're skipping, Sarah.
You may want to just leave your
Haters, that
video
makes
off.
sense.
like
Anything? You're still coming in and out. Fuck you, internet.
Next, I'm gonna eat the internet.
Oz will have your back after he lashes out physically at you. Have your back on eating the internet. He's still pissed at you for eating Magdalena.
Situationally, I think with the like everybody leaning into it, I don't need a lash out physically roll from you, Opep. If we're leaning into it, then we're just leaning into it. But Oz, do you want to hit back?
Yes, I want to fail at hitting back.
What does that look like? How are you coming at Opep?
So here's the thing. Like, Oz is a god of life and death. I think his jaw just unhinges and a swarm of flesh eating beetles comes out and tries swarming on Opep.
Oh wow! Osiris is having a moment and lashing out at Opep for Opep eating you.
Okay, so has that happened already?
It was in mid happening. I was saying that given people leaning into it and strings being spent, I don't need a lash out physically for Opep attacking Magdalena. If y'all want to just move into killing, then Sarah, you can take a look at the skirting death move, which involves ways to skirt death or to not skirt death.
I would like to not skirt death.
All right, then think about what your big miracle is going to be. And David, how did your roll go?
Surprisingly well. So it was a 9 minus 1 is 8. And I have 2 strings on Opep. I think I'm going to spend them to add to the harm. Sorry, Ryan.
So you harm them, but choose one. What's your choice going to be?
Oh, I choose one.
On a 7 to 9, you harm them, but choose one. Yep.
Fuck it. I gotta be my darkest self.
Makes sense.
Because it's probably not going to happen otherwise.
So go ahead and mark that you're going to start next time as your darkest self. I am going to call this golden opportunity. Ryan, why don't you also mark that you're going to be starting in darkest self next time?
I was going to say that I just hit full harm, which means darkest self, which means I have +1 versus Oz, so be prepared to be eaten.
Well, you also have a -1 against me.
No, I don't. Oh yeah, because of your move. Sure.
Yeah.
But let's
Actually, I'm not going to be in next week's session. So
then think up a description of how you're fucking out of here. But between Ryan and Sarah, there is a death scene. We need to work out what it looks like, how badass it is, and what's happening because of it. So, Sarah, are you fighting against Opep and being beaten? Or are you, like, not fighting against it and just letting it happen? What's it look like?
I think she catches the transformation and, like, knows that it's Liam. If not, that it's Opep.
Gotcha.
And I think when you come down, I think there's this moment where, like, our eyes meet, and, like, she doesn't fight this because she knows, like, everything that she's done, this is kind of what she deserves. And I'm not sure what I want the miracle to be. I am open to suggestions. I think I might want to change something for, or not Pluto, Opep, but I'm not sure what.
All right.
I'm down for it. I just don't have a ready suggestion.
Yeah. Consider it for a few minutes. Opep, are there any like special effects, or is this just like you dive down into a hole and Tezcatlipoca is no longer there? What does this look like?
I mean, since I'm immediately entering my darkest self, I'm down for it to be the just kind of clashes down on the ground and then Snake rears up again and there's no Tezcatlipoca. Or it could be that I disappear and then reappear elsewhere. I don't know. What is Scarlet Book of Wandered Death Scene to look like? Watch me continue to try to punt as the story keeps veering back toward me.
Well, fine. You want to punt? Barry, you're definitely going to be here next week. Do you want next week to start here in the chapel, or do you want Upep to get away and we start somewhere else dealing with the fallout from this?
Well, I was trying to think what the way that, or how this is going to shake out, because like if Opep takes 4 harm, then I don't know if that goes directly into Darkest Self, or if like the snake collapses like back down into a Liam. Because I would definitely run away with him and end up getting to be with him when he comes to consciousness in Darkest Self, which is okay with me. Alternately, like if Magdalena is like when her body like falls to the ground, like I could be that could also be like the distraction for me, that like I would go to her body and that's when Oz would strike. Like I'm like either of these would work for me, and like I don't know.
Are you trying to put yourself kind of in harm's way so that I could exit my Darkest Self?
Maybe.
Okay. Do we like a dangerous setup continuing forward in this next time?
I'm fine with danger.
Okay.
I had a thought.
Cool.
I'm not sure about it, but I think I'm still holding the God spirit from Father Richards when you swallowed me.
Do you have an idea of how?
I ate the sun. I'm so proud of myself.
Do you have an idea of how that might affect Opep?
I'm wondering if I can like combine them.
Oh, like give him some of Surya?
Yeah.
Or no, not
Or whatever,
it's you.
whoever it is.
Tezcatlipoca. Oh, my brain is going, you guys. Cool. I
think
like
Liam
that.
is now a dragon.
I'm not sure how that would manifest.
We've got a week to sort of talk over ideas of how the merger there might go. We've got some of Surya, we've got some of Tezcatlipoca, we've got Opep with just faint flavorings of Pluto still hanging around the edges. It's a whole melange. But we've got a week to talk it over and figure out what that might look like. But I am super excited about that. Okay. Do we have any standing moves out on the table? Is there anything unresolved? Can we come to a cliffhanger?
This is an awesome cliffhanger.
Okay. Oh no. My headphones are going away. Okay, we are here. It is cliffhanger. Jesus. It's very dramatic. People got eaten. There's a giant snake monster. There's still a church-shaped hurricane. It's crazy up in here, y'all. But you cannot distract me from my experiment with your shenanigans or the internet's lateness or everything tonight. So fast though it's gonna be, we're gonna hit these epilogue cues real quick. So Oz, we'll start with you. We had your messed up Dylan quote. We have the dead blank eyeball, a bit of blood leaking out. So we see some text over your epilogue. Is it inner monologue? Is it someone talking to you? Is it a dialogue? What is it?
I think the repeat of this pulls out the image a little bit, and you see Eris's biker boot, and then just like text bubble coming down into the image of "I'm so sorry."
Nice. And soundtrack for the scene?
God, I have to find the name of it because I looked it up earlier. Pat the Bunny's song "Bitter Old Man," which let me look up what the chorus is. I had it pulled up and then I lost it because of it causing lag, the site causing lag. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice this. I'm sorry if I start roboting. Come on, load. So the chorus of the song goes, "I always wanted to die young," and it repeats several times. And then, "Now I feel younger every day. I just hope I die younger than I am."
Nice. So Ryan, we had Came Back Haunted. We have your mirror shades that are just being about to be pulled down. We have Ra reflected in them. What do we see for speech over this?
I'm gonna be endlessly pretentious and
Love
quote
it.
Baphomet referencing Sandman with "fucking choose," and my song is gonna be also endlessly pretentious. "Living Dead and Undecided" by Pretentious Moi, because of the lines, "My place is where I choose, with only patience left to lose."
Amazing. So good. All right. And Khonshu, you're only 19 for God's sake. And Eclipse Eyes, crinkles of smiles at the corner. What text do we see over this?
So I think the text over this is Khonshu talking to herself, and the panel. The pan like the second panel in this spread is Khonshu holding up Nyx's eye over one eye and squinting with the other.
Which one? Full moon eye or new moon eye?
The new moon eye.
Nice.
Yeah. And she says, "That's where Nyx made a mistake. I wish I was someone better." And the in Nyx's eye, I can see you can see like the just from the top and bottom snake fangs. And the soundtrack for this scene is Los Campesinos' song "We Are Beautiful, We Are Doomed." Which also features the lyric, "I heard he got his teeth fixed. I'm gonna break them."
Oh, I love how these are shaping up. These are amazing, you guys. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we need to hit before we stop. I don't think so. Things are on a really interesting cliffhanger here. That was wildly exciting and weird and all over the place. And that was the end of our comic. You guys, that was awesome.
This was the giggliest episode, and I loved it.
Sarah, that was a really interesting arc for Magdalena.
Yeah, it felt like good though.
Yeah, it was neat. It was a bit of justice. It was a bit of like junkie storyline.
A lot of things came full circle.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering, like in the middle of this, asking Apep to skin me. But this was good too.
I made such an unholy shrieking noise, just so you know.
Well, that was amazing. We're very late. I have to sleep at some point. I thank you all for staying over and putting up with internet and my being late and just all the craziness of tonight. But that was super fun. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the broadcast.